22 years old, people. Are you watching this kid play? He is 22 years old. So I would say right now, if you were starting a team and you could take any player in the league to start it with, my order, just based on their ages, would be Wembanyama 1, Anthony Edwards 2.
I have the same list. The same list. And I think you can make an argument that Anthony Edwards should be 1 just based on the position that he plays, because the ball's going to be in his hands more frequently. And it's wings that win championships.
Here's the other thing I'll say. I don't know what Wembanyama's going to be. Like, I don't know that he isn't just going to change the game as we think we know it. I don't know what he can't do. He's 7'5" with small forward-esque skills.
Yeah, we've not seen it.
He is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, by the way. Remember, we didn't have the guts to vote for him. We wanted to vote for him for Defensive Player of the Year, and we didn't.
I want to say that we did.
No, I think we voted him second.
After Gobert?
I think we voted him second.
Either way, the point remains he's one of the best defensive players in the league already. He's spectacular.
He's on his way to easily being the best defender in the NBA, maybe the best we've ever seen based on the versatility of the things he can do on the defensive end with a skill set on the offensive side that eventually, I'm not going to say he's going to be Durant because that's too much, but I'm trying to think.
He could be Dirk.
Offensively.
I think he could be Dirk offensively and Hakeem Olajuwon
with better handles. I mean, Dirk didn't have, like, Dirk was a legit 7 feet tall. I don't know what they listed Dirk at, but I remember Mike and I went down there and did a show, and he came and did our show with us in Dallas. And when he walked in the door and I stood up to shake his hand, I couldn't believe how tall Dirk is. I've been around basketball players my whole life. I started covering the NBA in 1991. So I know how tall these guys are. Dirk is freaking tall. But Wembanyama could, eat apples off the top of his head.
7'3".
He's 7, and I think he's more than that.
He might be.
I think he's more than 7'3". You see him standing next to Shaq?
That was wild.
Did you see that video?
Yeah.
He looks like Shaq's dad. He's so big and so athletic. I would take him.
Yeah, I think
I'd take him 1, Anthony Edwards.
It'd be hard not to take the unicorn, but at least in Anthony Edwards' case, like, you've seen players with that skill set become the generational superstar. And in Wembanyama's case, I guess you'd be taking a chance because he's a one of one. When I watch Anthony Edwards play, you see shades of Kobe Bryant. You see Dwayne Wade. You see great players of yesteryear. You see it happening in real time. At 22 years old, he does the thing that very few guys can do. And he can just take over a quarter of a playoff game. He scored 18 points in the third quarter of that game. It was breathtaking. Over his last 5 playoff games dating to last year, it's 35 a game on 51% shooting. In what traditionally would have been his first year in the NBA coming out of college, he's spectacular.
I have a theory for another reason why he's not as well known. Because, A, he went to Georgia, so he didn't go to Kentucky, Duke, Connecticut, one of these schools that everyone's watching all the time. But 2, and more importantly, Cam and Bubba, he was in the 2020 draft, which is the COVID year. So the draft was held, it was held like in November, right? Like the Lakers won the title in the bubble in October, I want to say, or early November. And then they held the draft. So it was a draft that got no attention.
Yeah, November 18th.
Right. November. So it was a draft
Bristol.
that no one paid attention
to.
Yeah,
via Zoom, basically.
Right. This was the height of COVID.
And there was no NCAA tournament.
There was no NCAA tournament. And no one, right, that's right. They had to cancel the tournament that year because of COVID. And the NBA was in the bubble. And the draft kind of came and went with almost no attention. But like that guy, so he didn't get the usual buildup you would get as the first pick in the draft and all of that. And then he went to a smaller market team. But here they are. If Cat doesn't get hurt this year, they're the 1 seed in the West, right? They're the best. They were the best team in the West all year long until they had that injury. And, like, he's that good. Cam, right now, I'm giving you can start a team with any young player in the NBA. How many names are you naming before you get to Edwards?
I think I'm with you guys. I would probably think about Luka before him, but I'm a huge Anthony Edwards guy. Like,
who else is in the discussion? Who else are we even talking about?
SGA.
SGA is how old?
23, I think, 23 or 24. Luka's 25, Ant's 22, Victor's,
Anthony
19
Edwards
or 20.
has the best body I've ever seen on a basketball player.
Whoa.
His...
Hold up.
But he's not wrong. He's 100% right.
I can't go on.